That $2 million, that $2 million or grants of up to $2 million coming from the federal government is back. Remember the American Seed Fund? American Seed Fund is powered by the National Science Foundation. The National Science Foundation, for over 40 years, have been helping entrepreneurs transform their products into marketable products and services. Transform their ideas into marketable products and services. Therefore, it is time for you to go ahead and take a look at this grant. Give it a serious look, because I've told a few of you about it, and you went ahead and dropped in the comment sections. You went through the pitch process. For this particular grant, you don't even have to have a business. You simply do not have to sell something, as I've been saying. Nonetheless, you will get further in the process once you get accepted towards the next step in filing your application for grants of up to $2 million to fund your technically risky and innovative idea. Let's take a quick look at it. Good afternoon, Teresa Miller. Thank you so much for logging on. This, by the way, what can I say about this thing? Remember I told you about the grant of at least $1,000 coming from the GoFundMe Small Business Initiative? I'm going to show you a number of people who have already been funded for it. But let me just get through this $2 million grant that I'm talking about right here. Okay? Where? How to apply. You first submit a pitch. After that, once you submit the pitch, you're going to file a proposal. The submission dates are from February 12th, 2021, which is already passed, up to March 4th, 2021. And this continues to open. It'll open up again on March 5th to June 3rd, 2021. And just take a quick look at the FAQ so you can see how much the federal government wants you to sell something, to basically open a small business. Do not click the back button, because it is not rocket science. However, if you go to my spreadsheet, I've got courses on where you can learn how to do rocket science if that's what you want to do. Anyway, take a look at the frequently asked questions for this right here. What if I have not incorporated and or started my business? What do I do next? Our partners at Business USA have built a tool to start a business wizard to help small businesses through aspects of starting a business and finding information you need to succeed. So you could submit your pitch for this thing, and however, when it's time to submit your proposal, then you have to have your business incorporated. But just for you to submit it, you do not have to have a business. You simply have to have an idea. We're full of ideas every single day, are we not? Hello from Philadelphia, Cheryl McKnight. How's it going? I actually lived in Philadelphia by the Naval Shipyard. Over there, Broad Street, South Philly, baby. Stand up. I have a GoFundMe set up still. No donations. Ask for some. What's perfect about the GoFundMe Small Business Relief Initiative is that it puts you in the practice of actually selling something, because you have to sell your idea. Your GoFundMe should be set up where you are showing people how your business is going to benefit not only you, but it's going to benefit society as a whole, because that's the whole point. That's why the American government wants you to start a small business. They want you to start selling something. Go ahead and link it up. I'll shout you out real quick, Justin, so people can go ahead and take a look at the business that you are setting up through your GoFundMe. Keep it rolling. Thank you, Jessica. All in. What up? All IBN. Anyway, that's a small business initiative. And just to give you an idea, just to tell you, listen, it's not a game with this GoFundMe thing. A number of you already been funded. That's me helping Liz. This is my man, Send Captures. He's the first one that told me that got this grant for $1,335. Again, GoFundMe matches up to $500 of that grant. And I went ahead and donated, broke them off with a quick $100 real quick, a quick C note. Small business. Look, they've got $2.7 million for this thing. Are you telling me they don't have $500 a piece for each of you? Come on, man. Yo, hop on it, man. Hop on it. You do not have to be in business or have to show that you were in business back in 2019, 2018. You can start a business right now. And what's the definition of starting a business? It is selling something. Understand what I'm saying? Selling something. As simple as taking old items in your home. I got this camera that I was thinking of selling, but it works actually now. You could sell these cameras, even if they're broken, for like $20 a piece on eBay. Now that it's working, I probably get like 50 bucks for it. And I don't even use it anymore. And you're selling something. That's non-W-2 filed income. You're doing DoorDash, you're doing Uber Eats, whatever it is that you're doing that is not non-W-2 filed income. That's selling something. You are operating a small business. If you're doing it by yourself, you're sole proprietorship. You are what the Small Business Administration refers to as a non-employer firm, which constitutes the whopping majority of all small businesses. And all small businesses constitute 99.9% of all businesses in the United States. So I don't know what you're doing. I know a number of you, I've seen people in the comments section. I don't want to have to be selling things to my loved ones. Listen, your objective should not be to sell things to your loved ones solely, unless they need or want that service. Okay, you're selling things on eBay. You're not selling it to your loved ones to go ahead and sell it. No. You sell products and services to people who need them. Survival of the fittest. And if you can't muster up the strength of simply taking some used items in your home, putting them up for sale on eBay or Craigslist, what are you doing? Where is your heart? One of the key motivational drivers that I hold in me is greed. If I do not do something that is productive with my life, I tell myself, listen, you're being greedy, Neal. You got to get up off your ass and do something. Understand what I'm saying? Because I don't want to be classified as somebody as greedy. I know that none of you want to be classified as being greedy. It's an ugly word. It's an ugly way to live life. It is against the word of God. It is against his two main commandments, which is to love thy neighbor, love your God. So you can only have the ability to love thy neighbor if you improve yourself. Okay? The definition of making money, and explain to you, it's a secret. It's not a secret really, but people think it's this big secret. It's simply information. The only thing that divides me from Elon Musk is that he knows how to get to where he's at, and I don't. That's it. It's information, the consumption of that information, me being at peace with myself, so I'm able to consume and execute on the information that I'm learning. And I've got resources right here, folks, right here for you to operate, for you to start your small business. Go ahead and incorporate. Look, I've got resources for the LLC, free education resources, how to do search engine optimization. I made my bones off search engine optimization. What did I invest into? My credit, fix my credit. Once you open a small business, you have all types of availability through business credit. You got to fix your personal credit though. Your personal credit is a major asset. All right. My kids, 14-year-old sons, 14 and 11-year-old sons, they've got a GoFundMe. They got a business up. Okay, I haven't had time to work on it completely. They already got like 3 donors. You get 5 individual donors for your GoFundMe Save Small Business Relief Initiative. Go ahead and write a quick story. Look, this is not even a paragraph. Well, is that more than a paragraph? Because we worked on it. We went ahead. I helped them correct the grammar. But if you saw my last video, I can go ahead and show you real quick. We could probably go through it. I showed you exactly what my kids did to go ahead and draft the paragraph that narrated their story, describes their story, the story of their business. If it's the story of you starting your business right now, do it. Simply write it out. And I'm here for you. All right? Let me take a look at what people are talking about right now, man. I'm seeing a lot of hearts. Thank you. Matt, thank you, Derico Patrick. Really appreciate you being in attendance. I want to sell all my all natural hair products. You can do that. You can do that. You could start a Shopify website and start to sell it on there. Start on eBay. All of these places, they take all kinds of products. A quick way for you to find what could sell on eBay, right? You go to eBay real quick. This is a quick tutorial. This is down and dirty, but this is as simple as it gets. Natural hair products, right? Take a quick look. Perform a fast query for it. And then look up Sold items, right here. Just click sold items on the left, filter it out, and you start to get an idea. I know that you've got specific products. Look, you got Contour Shea Butter Hair products from $8.44 to $11.26, $4.23 to $18.08. Cheap oil and all this other stuff, right? So you just go ahead and type in the product that you're selling and go ahead and pop it in there. Start to develop a community around your products. Go ahead and jump on social media. Tell people, give people the results, show people the befores and afters. How perhaps if you're losing hair, you use this particular product and that patch of hair that you had a month ago, now it's got its own beard and need beard oil for it because it's got so much hair coming out of there. Aloha, snake. Aloha, A, B, C, D, E. When will the guidelines come out for PPP? Not sure yet. Not sure, but click the subscribe button. Click the bell notification because I'll let you know once they do. The guidelines, once they get transmitted to your lender of choice. This is no financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Nonetheless, this is what I'm doing, okay? I'm contacting prospective lenders. Blue Vine, preferably fintech organizations. Let me get out of here real quick so you can see the whole body in action, baby. Fintech organizations that are not performing credit checks ideally. There are some organizations that are performing credit checks. So I heard PayPal's doing it. I haven't confirmed it. Cross Rivers, if you remember on one of my previous videos, I was going to file an application through Cross Rivers, partnering with Womply. Nonetheless, I saw they were performing a credit check. I didn't want a hard inquiry on my credit report because hard inquiries, they shave a couple of points off of your credit report. Not much. I'm in the process of purchasing some real estate, so I didn't want anything getting knocked off my credit. Although it's pretty high, it's like around 7 and change. Womply and Cross Rivers, they perform a credit check. However, I went ahead and filed a support ticket, opened a support ticket, and they responded by stating that it's a soft inquiry. When a lender, financial institution states that they're performing a soft inquiry that will not impact your credit. So it's safe to use that organization. However, if they determine that they can only give you a paycheck protection program if you have a credit score of over 570, over 600, and you don't have that credit score, then that may impair your ability to retrieve it. Blue Vine, as of right now, they do not check your credit. And the Small Business Administration does not require lenders to check their credit. However, they are giving lenders the discretion to go ahead and perform any due diligence they think they need to perform in order to determine that you are eligible for a paycheck protection program. So keep that in your head. What about photography? That's anything that you sell. Anything that you sell. That's a business. It's non-W-2 filed income. W-2 filed income is what you get being an employee, working for somebody else. No disrespect to people who are employees because it's honorable work. If you're getting up every day, that's a hustle. And you got to report somewhere and you're making money and you're using that money to save and feed your families. May God bless you and everything that you're doing. However, my path came through the launching and the operation of a small business. I've worked with the Nielsen Company, the Barack Obama 2012 campaign. I worked with Donald Trump before the politics, or perhaps he was involved in politics. I didn't know about them. All I know is that I helped him raise over, and the organization with which he partnered, $200,000 for Harlem charities. Operating with several businesses, drove millions of views through internet marketing. And I've got courses on how you could learn how to do that. And that stuff, it sells itself. You simply tell people about it. They're like, I need that. You're going to find people that need it. Photography events. How do I apply if I work for DoorDash? You apply just like everybody else applies. You just have to ensure that that DoorDash income, of course, you have to show wherever you're reporting it. For the Paycheck Protection Program, if you're applying for the Paycheck Protection Program, then Blue Vine, for instance, was requesting a business bank statement or a bank statement that shows that you were depositing funds from your non-W-2 filed income in February 2020, and then to prove that you were in business in in 2019, you simply have to show like invoices. So for instance, the invoice that you send out to DoorDash so they can pay you, or a bill, anything that proves that you're welcoming that income as an independent contractor, which ultimately constitutes either a sole proprietorship. Again, if you're operating the business by yourself, you are a non-employer firm. Non-employer firms constitute the whopping majority of all small businesses, which constitute the majority of all businesses in the United States. And they want you to do it. Thank you. Information is power. Thank you, Nudi Gamboa. Greatly, absolutely. Information is power, and the execution of that information. It's all because comes the absorption. That's the information itself, the technical knowledge you need to do something, plus the way to implement it. It's all information. That's the only thing that separates you from everything that you want in life. Thank you so much. Excuse me. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you so much. Ultimate Music League. Close my eyes and vision DJ Khaled spitting fine. Another one. How do I apply if my business hasn't generated any money? There are some of these businesses. Well, if you want to apply for the GoFundMe, which is a grant of at least $1,000, you don't have to prove that you're generating any income. Okay, you don't have to prove that you simply have to write the story on your small business. Okay, look, there's 2.7 million. Excuse me. Let me go ahead and share the screen again. There's 2.7. All right, there's $2.7 million for this thing. So you're telling me there's not enough to go around? Come on. Listen, all kinds of people. There's a grant. This grant. The organization that got like up to $60,000. And there's no qualification. See, look, the key thing. Let me see. It's $50,000. Excuse me. How can I be considered small business? I'll tell you right now. What if I'm a small business? What other help is out? Okay, right here. This is where I found it. All right, so these are other ways that you could seek help. Now, among these resources, right here, this organization participated. Look, grants of over $50,000. $500 came from GoFundMe. However, look at their description. Look, it's just a paragraph, a couple of bullet points. It's a wrap. You don't have to show that you welcomed any revenue. Nothing. It all comes down to the specific requirements for the program for which you are applying. If they don't require for you to be in business during a certain time period prior to whatever. Okay? So in other words, only Paycheck Protection Programs and the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Grant required you to be in business in 2019 and 2020. However, for such as the GoFundMe Save Business Relief Initiative, there is not that requirement. Neither is there that requirement for this grant, for the American Seed Fund. You don't have to be in business right now. I just showed you. If you didn't see it, I'll go ahead and show you again. What if I have not incorporated and started? What do I do next? That could be someone who hasn't even welcomed revenue. Our partners at Business USA have built a tool to start a business, which is to help small businesses through aspects of starting a business, finding information that you need to succeed. The writing is on the wall. I don't have to be Joseph interpreting writing on the wall, or a dream for Pharaoh for you to understand this stuff. Our partners at Business USA have built a tool to start a business, which is to help small business. They're basically telling you, implying, listen, go start a business then if you don't have a small business. And once you do that, then you can go ahead and proceed with the next step. There's actually another FAQ that read that you could file a pitch without having started your business. However, once you submit your proposal, see, there's two steps. The first step is to file the pitch, and a couple of you have mentioned in the comments section that you have been invited to go ahead and submit the proposal. So when you file the pitch, you could be simply an employee working for somebody else. However, once they invite you to submit the proposal, that's when you have to present, all right, now here are my articles of organization, and here's my complete idea. Technically innovative yet risky idea. The internet, Doppler radar, tissue generation, all of these products and services were funded by the National Science Foundation through the American Seed Fund. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. You jump on my spreadsheet. Ladies and gentlemen, I know a few people are like, man, he kept on saying it. I've gotten better. I don't say it as much. There's all kinds of things going on over here, man. This FedEx program, a chance to win 50 grand for your business. For this particular one, you had to have, you have to be able to prove that you were in business 6 months prior. But you don't have to do that for the GoFundMe. And look, 50 grand for that particular business. Did I show you everyone that's been funded? Look, send captures. My man Emmanuel, he got 1,300. I helped Liz. Let me see. Where's Liz's fundraiser? Send captures. He heard about the program through our channel, vlogging about it. Let me take a look. I think it is. Ooh, I missed it. Nolitsui, Liz, right here. She got a grant, $1,280. My man Anthony Carmichael, where's he at? There he goes, right here. Look, $500 donation received. He got that from GoFundMe. $1,200 grant right here. This is a layup. I broke him off with a quick 100. It's no thing. My thing is helping people, man. Like I said, if I'm not helping somebody, if I'm not doing something to improve myself on a daily basis, then I'm like, listen, you're being greedy. And that snaps me out of whatever lazy mode in which I find myself, whatever challenge that I encounter. I stop at nothing to improve myself, to constantly educate myself. Because that's what life is all about, educating. Once you stop learning, you're dead. You're gone. If you stop learning, you are dead. Okay? Again, take a look at the Forbes 500. Top Forbes 500 richest people on the planet. The only thing that separates them from us is the information, the things that they know. That's it. You could take all their money away from them and they'll get it right back if you don't take their brains away. That's it. You have to find peace in yourself. You have to thank God for everything that you have, or thank whatever infinite force that keeps us up. Listen, we're on a rock and we're floating in space. We're ghosts inside these human bodies, man. Come on, B. You're telling me that you can't be grateful for that? Look how beautiful the planet is outside. And when you see how beautiful things are, when you are thankful, when you show gratitude, you start to develop a list of all the resources available to you. Okay? Because everyone who's been successful is because they've been resourceful. There's infinite amount of resources. If you are healthy, sometimes it's about getting your health back in order. If you're not healthy, you simply can't operate. You got my quote right here. I would love to work with you. Ultimate Music League. Okay. Thank you, man. Thank you. It's a bit.ly link in the description. Yeah, that's the spreadsheet. Thank you so much, Philip, for helping out. What is the grant site again? No sound. You don't hear me anymore? I see the volume. Can we? Absolutely. Can you obtain a PP loan whilst on unemployment? You cannot take a PP loan on unemployment because PP loan is meant to pay yourself. Use 60% of it. Well, you can get the PP loan, but you will have to pay it back. The PPP loan, excuse me. So you can't obtain the PPP loan, but you'll have to pay it back because if you're collecting unemployment, then you won't be using 60% of it to pay payroll. Or perhaps you will if you have multiple employees. But if it's yourself, it may, unless you're not making enough on unemployment. Maybe you're only making like 50. Some people are making like 50 to 100 bucks on unemployment, and perhaps you will be able to use 60% of the Paycheck Protection Program loan on your payroll, which if you're operating a non-employer firm, sole proprietorship, you're an independent contractor, then you're essentially paying yourself. That's all it means when you're using it for payroll. This is really the best thing you've done so far. The presenters don't really answer everyone's questions despite they are helpful. Thank you, Philip. I'm applying for an EIN for taxation. What should I use? S Corp, corporation, or individual partnership for my LLC? I'm not a financial advisor. Go ahead and contact your financial advisor. They'll give you the best option. But once you're in that process, I'll tell you what I did. I'm a single member LLC. So that's what I did. I can't recommend that you do the same thing. Everybody has a different situation. My plans are in the future is perhaps to explore working with an S Corp because of taxation and stuff. But when it comes down to filing an LLC, you basically file your taxes as a sole proprietorship through your 1040 through a Schedule C. for the most part. If you're not a partnership, then a partnership that involves another process, but I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I do and what's worked for me. And I've had my business for 10 years. And I've gotten grants for the government as a business. Let me get out of this because you're only seeing this Michael Jordan quote right here. That's my dog, though. I used to hate him when he used to whoop the Knicks' asses. But whatever. All right. Yeah, so anyway, that's what works for me. But definitely contact your legal financial advisor, anyone who advises you when making this decision. Do your due diligence. Please save this live, bro. Will do, Get Mo. I have a website. Can you use the website sales sheet instead of a bank statement to show your sales invoice? For the Paycheck Protection Program, when I did it through Blue Vine, they were actually asking for something that wasn't as formal as a bank statement. They were asking for like invoices for 2019. However, they did ask for a business bank statement to show your business was generating some type of revenue in February of 2020. You should be able to get your tax from any of your driving jobs from the app. Okay, thanks Philip. I got the max 20,833 PPP, but I didn't make 100,000. Not sure how I got that first round. Would I qualify for round 2? I mean, as long as your paperwork's straight, you should be able to qualify for. As a matter of fact, you have to show 25% revenue loss, I believe, during a certain period in order to qualify for round 2. So I can go ahead and take a look at that momentarily. Anyone, let me just get through some of these questions. How do I apply if my business hasn't generated any money? Again, like I told you, I think I had to answer that one already. Viso FX, you could apply for these other programs. GoFundMe. Does it count that my EIN is my social? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, any non-W-2 filed income. W-2 filed income coming from being as an employee. Wrong. You can get both. If your brain isn't active, then you might as well be brain. Absolutely. Love watching and learning from you. Thank you, Jose. Thank you. Stop learning. You're dead 100%. I thought you can get both, just not at the same time. Are you able to apply for a PPP loan with being only a sole owner worker? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's what it was designed. That's what it's designed for. And now just hold off. I mean, this is what I'm doing. It's not financial advice. I have to say that because what I'm doing is I am waiting for my prospective lender. I don't know with whom I'm going to file an application until they receive the new rules and the guidance from the Small Business Administration that read that they have to use your gross income, line 7 of your Schedule C, as the dividend, the amount of money that you divide by 12 and then multiply the quotient of which you divide by 12 in order to determine how much of a Paycheck Protection Program loan that turns into a grant as long as you use for qualifying expenses for which you qualify. In other words, the way that you will qualify to get more money from the Paycheck Protection Program loan. Because before they were mandating that you had to use your net income. So the amount of money that you reported on line 7A of your 1040, that's your net income. You would use that, well, actually from Schedule C. I forgot which line, but basically your net income. Now you can use your gross income from line 7 of Schedule C. So your net income is the amount of money that's taxable. That's the amount of money that you have, that's your profit after you filed all your business deductions. And according to the Biden-Harris administration, a number of sole proprietors, they take as many deductions as they can so they could lower their taxable income. So you can only use your net income. So that being said, some people were reporting income that only qualified them for a Paycheck Protection Program loan, which eventually becomes a grant if you use it for qualifying expenses of $1. So such people were excluded from the program because of the way that the Small Business Administration structured the formula. Now they are taking the option pursuant to the CARES Act of using your gross income. So if before you were dividing $50,000 by 12 or $60,000 by 12 and you only qualified for a smaller loan, now you could use, let's say, the amount of money that you generated for your business before taking all your deductions, which was perhaps $100,000 or $200,000. Well, actually up to $100,000 if they keep the same rule. If they don't change the rule of capping it at $100,000. Now, they may keep the cap to $100,000, the cap of the amount of gross income that you can use, or the amount of income that you could use to basically perform the calculation to determine how much of a Paycheck Protection Program loan you qualify. We don't know that as yet, but pursuant to the CARES Act, the gross income cap is at $100,000, and actually Matthew Coleman, the regional director for Region 2 based out of New York City, he stated that he does not have a crystal ball, so he does not know whether they're going to continue to impose that $100,000 gross income cap when the new rules are transmitted to lenders. What else we got? Good deal. I'll look into it. Thanks. Thank you, Phoebe. I didn't do PPP, but did get a $25,000. Never got the advance. Well, keep an eye out, Willis, because if you're in a low-income community, they're supposed to be sending you an email. And if you're able to show greater than 30% loss during a 2-week period, an 8-week period in 2020, when compared to another 8-week period prior to March 2020 and in 2019, that you may qualify for the targeted EIDL grant. And under Section 332, pursuant to Section 332 of the disaster relief package, the latest disaster relief package, they're supposed to have another round where you simply qualify to receive the EIDL grant if you request it, of $10,000. So the Small Business Administration hasn't made any comment to that effect. I do hold an open line with communication, but they haven't told me about that program yet. So sit tight, and they may notify you on that. I sell on eBay. Can a PPP can be used to pay past due seller fees? Wouldn't that considered operating expenses? You have to ask your lender. They'll tell you the exact way, but that would constitute the 40%. 60% still has to be on payroll. First 100 days of the dark winter, Biden assured us, was coming. Don, thank you, man. Major shout out to my man Don, been with me from the jump. Yes, I am in Louisiana. Willis, do you have any of your Louisiana Mardi Gras? I'm my family's from Barranquilla, Colombia, where they hold the carnival. That's the Mardi Gras version. The Colombian version of Mardi Gras. Do you Fat Tuesday and all that? But over there, they got a whole different scheme with it. Do you and your family like magic tricks? Magic is my business. I love magic tricks. And I love to try to fool, entertain you guys while plugging you and your channel. It would be to have an audience. That'd be perfect, RJ. Great. Yeah, definitely. I'll explore that. Go ahead and drop the email. Here we go, just like last year. Yeah, are there any grants for starting a new business? Use the GoFundMe app. This is a layup right here. Look, these people have heard about the grant through the channel. I'm not sure how long they had the business. I know Emmanuel had the business for some time, but you can start your business today. Oops, I'm not sharing it. There it goes, right here. There's no requirement in terms of the amount of time you had to have your business in operation for this grant. You simply have to write your story. And this story, this is me helping these people out. May God bless them and their business's recovery. This is my man Emmanuel. He's the first one. Again, $1,300 grant, $1,200 grant. Where's it at? Look, this business scored a $53,000 grant, $2.7 million to go around for this thing. And this puts you in the activity of selling something, because just make your story compelling. It's not going around begging. People are like, oh, I don't want to have to go beg people. Someone wrote, it's a sad place if we have to live in a society where everyone has to sell things to their loved ones in order to survive. No, you sell products and services to the people who need them. That's the whole point of you being in business. I don't beg anybody to buy anything. Understand? I never tell people, oh man, I'm behind on my rent. I'm behind on my cell phone bill. That's why you got to hire me. That's why you got to do. You never do that. You won't get a job that way. If any of you have ever been employed, your first sale is landing that job. Convincing the person who is interviewing you that you are the ideal candidate for that position. The only difference between that and operating a business is that when you are an employee and you're receiving W-2 filed income, you only made one sale. That's it. You made the sale and you got the job. That's it. When you're in business, you're applying for multiple jobs. And the beauty of it is that since people have hired you to perform multiple jobs, every time you sell something to somebody, they've hired you. If one person fires you, let's say you're doing freelance work. Perhaps you got 3 more clients. They haven't fired you yet. So it's less risky to operate a business. That's the way you have to look at it. Understand? Everything in this life is relative. Unless you're doing math. And to a certain level, sometimes even that, because there's different ways to solve a formula. Anyway, I'm not even getting too deep on that, but everything. If you look at life, you have to look at everything as the glass is half full. Okay? The 40 bottle, however you want to do it. Whatever you want to think about. Forget the 40 bottle. I don't drink anymore. Anyway, but it's half full. It's not half empty. Okay? It's less risky for you to operate your business, at least for me. Because, like I said, I've had a hybrid marketing agency for 10 years. At my lowest point, if I only had 2, 3, 4 clients, one of them says, you know what, we can't continue working with each other. Every job is an at-will agreement. At any point in time, they could say, you know what, you're out. People have always told me, oh, I've worked for this company 30 years. It just laid me off. Nothing. Now they have nothing. Understand? If you're operating a business, one person fires you, said, listen, I don't want to work with you anymore. It's not working. This, that, and the third. I simply don't like you. I don't like the way you smell, whatever. You've got other clients with which to turn. If one person doesn't like your product, you go ahead and return it. Go ahead. Here's your money back. There's no problem. And if you got more sales, the better you get at business. You know, you got hundreds of sales coming in. What does it matter if one person doesn't go? Just, help them be satisfied. Go ahead, give back the money. It's only money. Understand? That's why all these big businesses are taking all these mom and pop shops out, because they're giving money back when people aren't satisfied. They bend themselves backward to ensure that you're satisfied. And if the product isn't for you, they prefer to fire you. They'd be like, you know what? Even me, I had gotten to the point where I had the application process that I made clients go through in order to work with me, because I have to be able to work with them. Life is short, man. And it's just so much leverage. And in this country, this is the mecca of capitalism. They want you to start a business, man, because eventually some of that money is going back to the government. If you become successful, wildly successful, and you want to become among the richest people on the planet, you have to start coughing up some money to those politicians, and you'll get to that level. If some of you who have been with me from the jump, like my man Don, who I see right there at the top of the comment section, I told you, look what happened with the founder of Rocket Loans. Gave hundreds of $1,000s to the Hillary campaign. Saw that she lost, then he started giving money to the Donald Trump campaign. $750,000 to the inaugural. After that, he got a deal to process economic injury disaster loan grants for like $50 million. After investing only $750, and I guess through his connections, his company went public. Now he's among the richest person on the planet. This dude started as a real estate agent, man. Real estate agent. And then he became a mortgage broker. It's simply a process of building something. It's like 1,000 piece puzzle. If some of you have completed those before, that's what it is. You simply have to be patient, keep learning. If you are stuck in filing your LLC and making a sale, learn how to sell more efficiently. There's guides everywhere. Go ahead and perform queries on the internet, case study. How to perform internet marketing, how to sell things on eBay, how to find things that sell quick on eBay. I'll tell you real quick. On eBay, electronics, they go quick. I buy stuff at IKEA. Whenever I'm done using it after 2 years or whatever the case may be, I always get back 60%. I flip it on Craigslist. It goes like this, man. Come on, man. And that's just the easy part. You want to take it to another level? You want to build websites for people? You don't even have to learn how to build the website. You can hire people to do it on Upwork. You pay somebody $200, you can sell that website for $1,000. Come on, man. Yes, 100,000. Mohammed, absolutely. Thank you, Mohammed. Thank you, Dwayne. Will I be able to add the Miss Stimulus first and second with my Schedule C? You have to contact your tax advisor, Dwayne. Add the Miss Stimulus first and second with my Schedule C. That's a personal deposit. The stimulus check, if I'm not mistaken. But definitely contact your tax advisor on that. I read the SBA is changing the rule for sole proprietors and they will be able to claim their monthly salary times 2.5 for a PPP loan. Have heard about this? Sky Suite Records, the rules. As per my last video, like I told you, before you had to use your net income. Now you can use your gross income. So that means you can go ahead and divide the amount of revenue that you generated without taking any of your business deductions. In other words, the full amount. Excuse me. Without you taking any business deductions or without any of your expenses, and then dividing that by 12 and multiplying that quotient by 2.5 to determine the amount of money that you qualify through the Paycheck Protection Program. Loan, which eventually becomes a grant if you use 60% on payroll, which is essentially paying yourself if you are self-employed, if you are a non-employer firm. So in other words, you will qualify for more money. But as of right now, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, but I'm telling you what I'm doing. Like I told you before, I'm waiting for the Small Business Administration to transmit the new rules to my prospective lender, the lender that I think I'm going to use. I may use a fintech organization. I don't know as yet. Click the subscribe button. Click the bell notification to stay on top of everything that I encounter. And once they do that, so I'll probably be among my first top picks will be potentially Blue Vine or Cross Rivers. Cross Rivers, they do perform a credit check. Blue Vine does not perform a credit check. However, the Cross Rivers credit check is a soft inquiry, so it does not impact your credit. So let me go ahead and take a look. Abracadabra, absolutely. Clarksdale, Mississippi, checking in. Clarksdale, Mississippi in the house. Love the bobblehead deal. Absolutely. Yeah, I love it too. I got like 11 of them in a stash right now. And I found more things. I don't know if you saw my, what is it? It's not a short, it's a story. A YouTube story where I found actually more Bob Ross stuff. I sell on eBay. Let me go ahead and just scroll through the first one. Good afternoon. Hello there. Good afternoon, Mr. Squad. Mark. Cheryl McKnight. Virginia. VA in a hitty. Justin Scott. I just drove through Dinwiddie. Matter of fact, I just donated some water. Go ahead and show you real quick to people who are looking for water because there's a big power outage out in a YouTube story where I found actually more Bob Ross stuff. Oh, that was the test right here. Oops, we're supposed to see that. Anyway, you saw it. Whatever. We transparent on this thing. I'm in Speedo streaking. Anyway, that was a flick of me donating some water out to the people out in Dinwiddie. I know a number of people out in Central Virginia. They're suffering due to the ice storms. They don't have, and I'll probably put together a fundraiser for that. Go ahead and keep taking a look. Stay on top. I have a GoFundMe up. No donations. Okay. Thanks, Rod. I have some ideas that need funding. I'm an auto mechanic. Do you tune-ups, brakes, oil changes? I can do it. Please help. My name. Yeah, absolutely. Justin Scott, if you're still on, absolutely. You could do it. You could definitely file for these programs, especially the GoFundMe app. Remember this GoFundMe thing right here. All right, this is for my kids. They already raised $100. They got 3 people. I need 5 people to go ahead and contribute to this thing, and they qualify for a $500 match coming from GoFundMe. They're getting this. They're getting this grant of at least $1,000. That I guarantee. You'll see the success of that once they score it in a future video. All right, who else we got? Dade County, 305 in the hitty. I see somebody from Dade County. Our DoorDash 3.5 multiplier since it's a food industry. That you have to check with your lender. Went looking today and was blown away, but the price they sell for, and they are really cool. Yeah, they're actually going up. And I bought it at $6.99, so I already got a little profit margin in the stash. Contact Silva. Thank you so much. I appreciate you watching. Bruce, Ohio. I purchased some of the most delicious and cost-effective hibachi meal in Ohio, in Sandusky. West Coast tapping. West Coast. I actually lived, I was like on an internship, Trey. Out in is this Tracy? Oh man, let me find out. Trey's a dude that's actually the dude that flew me out there. His name is Trey. That's my man Trey from LA. I don't know if that's you. Let me know if it's you, baby. Anyway, West Coast, baby. I can't do the whole Sig 9, but whatever. I started my business last year, but used cash for getting paid. What can I use to get a grant for mobile grooming? Again, hit the GoFundMe page. The GoFundMe Small Business Relief Initiative. Do it. This is a layup. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a layup. And here's the one thing that I'm going to tell you. Don't start a small business simply to get these grants. Do it to save and feed your family. Number of people, I can't do it. I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose that. In the beginning of you starting your business, you're not going to make any money anyway. Okay, unless you luck out. If you luck out, perhaps you will. You're not going to be making any money anyway if you've never been involved in business. I was developing my business and prior to me launching it in 2010, and I was generating some type of business. I actually had my employer as my first client because I was hiring people to do my job for me. All right. So once they laid me off because they sold all these magazines, Adweek, Billboard, The Hollywood Reporter, all these organizations with which I worked, once they sold them off, they hired me back. And then that's when I incorporated. So I was making sales off the jump. But for the most part, you don't make sales off the jump. So that being said, you're not going to lose anything. The number of people are like, oh, if I start a business, I'm going to lose my prescription coverage. I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose that. You're not going to lose anything because you're not generating any revenue. There's no revenue to put you above a certain threshold where you don't qualify for anything anymore. If you're not generating enough revenue, regardless of what, you still qualify for a number of programs that people say they will lose if they start a small business. You're not going to lose it initially. And once you start generating enough revenue, then you may not need the program anymore. You could fund your own prescription. You could fund your own medical coverage, whatever. There are no limits to you starting a small business. That is the equalizer on this planet, in this country. And I don't know of any other place that makes it easy, that slams aside all the bureaucracy. Look at all of the funding they're providing for people through the stimulus package, through the Small Business Administration, just because they operate a small business. When you control assets, and a small business is an asset, is a form of asset, you are always benefiting more. And you got to remember, for instance, let's say the Paycheck Protection Program. Right now, perhaps you don't qualify for that, but you start your small business today, you know disasters are guaranteed to happen. And I've gotten not only grants from Paycheck Protection Program, EIDL, I got grants through FEMA because I had a small business, got a couple of grants to help me weather that storm during Hurricane Sandy. Even before I started my small business, professional training grants that I told you about in the first video where I was talking about grants for everybody. There's all kinds of opportunities. You are in the strongest country in this planet, the greatest democratic experiment known to man ever. And you're telling me you can't do what you want to, man? Come on, man. And listen, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. For nothing. I don't even think as a prominent, of course, I'll consider it if, for instance, let's say Disney is like, yo, I'm going to pay you $100 million to be our CEO. Then, perhaps I'll take a job. And they're like, but you got to let go of your business. Who knows? That's $100 million, dog. But if you are not making millions of dollars as a CEO, a C-level executive, what are you waiting for? Start a small business. Non-employer firms, over 25 million. The whopping majority of small businesses in this country are self-employment projects. Some of them don't generate any revenue, some generate little revenue. Regardless of what, you don't have to quit your job to do it either. And if you're reporting that income, keep learning how to report that income. I'm reading right now, yesterday, how Amazon pays no taxes. There's a research and development tax credit. I have to learn more about it before I inform you more about it, but up to $250,000 in tax credits for you researching and developing a particular product that you plan to put out to market. And Amazon apparently leveraged that to pay $0 in taxes, reportedly. So I got to learn more about it again. I'm not a financial advisor. Go ahead and consult your own legal and financial advisor before making any decisions. I hear about people eating ramen noodles to start a business. SNAP is the ultimate grant for feeding. Yeah, you don't have to eat ramen noodles. See, that's what I'm talking about. These are the misconceptions of this stuff. So some people are like, you got to go through all these pains. And so listen, you don't have to don't quit your job. Don't quit. You don't have to quit your job. All these rules that, for instance, like let's say you hear on Shark Tank, like, nah, like you got to be suffering. You got to be. I didn't go through any of all that stuff. I mean, I'm not as successful as these people. Of course, you do have to control your costs. You have to know the numbers of putting everything into place. All right? But you don't have to go through all of that. There's no ramen noodles. I've never eaten ramen noodles. I have eaten ramen noodles, actually, when I used to live in Jamaica, Queens, New York. That was like a very nutritious meal. Now I know about eating. But listen, you have to take care of your health. I can't do that now. I'm 45 years old. I eat a balanced proportion of macronutrients, protein. I don't even eat out of pocket when I'm doing business. Understand? I don't even drink coffee. Coffee has to take a sip of me to keep up. Meat, fruits, and vegetables. And I don't even need coffee. As a matter of fact, I can't even eat fish sometimes because I get so wired up while I'm eating that way. You lower the amount of processed foods and you operate efficiently. So sometimes you can't even operate efficiently if you don't eat right. If you don't keep your body healthy, that will stop you from being productive. That will get you sick. And if you're sick, if you don't have health, you have nothing. Understand? You have nothing. You can't learn. You can't operate your brain. So that's one of the key things you have to do. I perform meditation. I follow probably one of the most influential meditation experts of our time, Sri Chinmoy, if I'm not mistaken. I can go ahead and tell you more about him to put you at peace. Understand? I mean, I incorporate with my beliefs, which is to meditate, to pray to God. Understand? Be thankful to God for everything He's given it to me. Of course, you can incorporate it to your belief. Whatever it is you do, controlling your breath, calming yourself down, forgiving people. Because that's one of the key things that hit me so hard. Listen, I came from nothing. I was about nothing. During my teenage years, you would probably seen me. My friends' parents used to say, stay away from that kid. He's bad. He's a vagabond. That's a common word that they use in Spanish. Vago. He doesn't want to do anything with himself. Understand? I had to graduate high school by the skin of my teeth. My father left me when I was 8 years old, 7 years old or so. And I still remember the reflection of myself on his car, blurring because the tears in my eyes, they welled up above the lids and they just came pouring down. He stated that he was going to come back, but I knew he wasn't coming back. As a result, my mother couldn't handle me after a certain while. I had all this repressed anger. All right, I wasn't about anything. I was about anger. I was getting into fights all the time. I was drinking. I didn't want to go to school right away. I went to the military. Getting into all kinds of trouble. I had to graduate by the skin of my teeth. But when I went into college, I completely changed all that. All right? I went in. The one thing that saved me was that my father's siblings, they all went to college. And I see the way they speak, how articulate they were, how accomplished they were. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be the only dumbass if I don't go to college. When I went to college, lights out, baby. It was game over. Bonkers. I rated it. All right? Graduated at the top of my class in the Borough of Manhattan Community College. Got a scholarship into New York University. Okay? But the one thing that I learned in college, greatest professor that I've ever had, Professor Lapidus, he said to be authentic. Be real. And when I started writing, the memory of having my father leave me, the tears started pouring down my eyes. And you could still, if I pull out the notebook, you could see all the ink getting smeared because I was crying on the train. I didn't know I had that. I thought I was hardcore. I thought I was like thugging it out. Jamaica, Queens, New York, based South Suicide, Queens, baby. You know what I'm saying? And rolling with the worst of individuals, people who became murderers, stick-up kids, all of that. Understand? South Suicide, crack war, during the crack wars. Understand what I'm saying? When New York was a bad place to live in. You couldn't even jump on a train after a certain amount of time because you'll get stuck up, regardless of how hard you are. And my tears were started pouring down. And the key thing to that is that your power lies in your authenticity. What is the suffering? What is the nightmare that you go through every single day? Why? Because those problems that you face and how you've had to transform yourself and become a better person in life in order to resolve those problems, that's the story that you're going to put on, let's say, on the GoFundMe page, on these grant applications. So this is what I've been through. This is what I've overcome. This is how I've made myself into a better person in order to become a productive and happy part of society, contribute to society through my small business. I wasn't about anything, about nothing, no advantages whatsoever. Understand? The only advantage that I had a good family, that they became my example, regardless. But without a father there, there's a serious disadvantage because I stay on top of my kids. I don't even know how people have the time not to be on top of their kids, because you notice things, you want to correct them, you want to give them the best future that they want. That's why I do what I do. That's why I tell you to start a small business. Unless you're a CEO of a major organization, you're welcoming millions of dollars, or you got a great dream job, may God bless you. May God bless everything that you're doing for you, for yourself, for your family. Otherwise, a small business is the ultimate equalizer. And I want each and every one of you to do it, because all it means is that you have to sell something. That's it. For the most part, you don't have to get into the filing of articles of organization and incorporation. You don't have to even get into all that. There's people that are making millions of dollars and they're just sole proprietorships. They're still reporting stuff. Of course, there's advantages to doing all this stuff because you limit the amount of liability to which you are exposed when you have a limited liability company. Of course, check with your legal advisor. But that's basically it, man. Thank you, Don. Business idea. Buy the products that are being canceled, like MR Potato Head, resell on Amazon. That's great. That's actually a great advice, Philip. Absolutely. Sky Sweet, thank you. Thank you kindly. Thank you to everyone still watching. Yes, rise above them. Absolutely. Nowitzki, you're a success story. Nowitzki, thank you so much. And may God bless you and your business's recovery. Where can I email you or holla at you at? Yeah, Rod Squad. Let me see it. Rod Squad HQ@gmail.com. That's the contact right there. And if you guys are open, one of these days, I could do another live and I have people call me. I don't care. I have people call me. I'll set out some time. And if you guys are feeling it, let me know. Thank you for everything, fam. Anthony, may God bless you, man. I'm so glad. Anthony Carmichael, he got himself a grant of at least $1,000 through the GoFundMe that he learned through here. That's what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, it's a layup. It's a layup. You need to hop on this thing yesterday. There is no reason not to do any of this stuff. Remember, people are like, but I don't have a small business. Then do it. It's part of the application process, regardless of what. Even to get a stimulus check. If you didn't get your stimulus check, you got to go to the Get My Payment app and you got to perform all these steps in order to get it. You have to prove that you are you. You perhaps have to send documentation. It's all part of the application process. So, the application process for a number of these grant programs. And it's not just about the grants. You can get business credit. I can show you how to do that if you guys are willing to hear me out on that stuff on a later video. I'll tell you, listen, it opens you up to business credit. It opens you up to all sorts of funding, all kinds of opportunities. So you can do what you want with your life. Understand what I'm saying? And anything that you do to build that business, it's a write-off. You deduct it, the amount of money that you're generating to business deduction. You don't pay taxes on the money that you use in order to start that business. Whatever you're using, you're taking money out of your paycheck to go ahead and buy inventory. You don't pay taxes on that revenue. I meditated with this group. That's awesome that you did it too. Now I'm a Jesus freak. Okay, thank you, RJ Corvo. Same story. Thank you for sharing that. This is good. Great meditation channels on. Absolutely. Yeah, all of that stuff. I mean, my meditation constitutes, I picture Superman breathing into my nose and then breathing out. So one of the key things that Sri Chinmoy teaches is picture that when you're breathing in all of God's infinite knowledge. Understand what I'm saying? An infinite force. And when you're breathing out, you are exhaling all your ignorance, all the things that you do not know. We're delicate, man. We're delicate in this life. That's why it's real important for us to love each other, man. Second most important commandment in the Bible, regardless of what you believe, love thy neighbor. How can you say that is wrong? To love thy neighbor. And the only way that you can do that, this is what I want to get clear to people, because people simply don't understand, is by improving yourself, improving your skills. All right? And one of the key ways to do that, one of the most available ways to do that, is by starting a small business. in this country. Because you start a small business, you learn how to sell better, you've got money to help people. Let's say a family member is in trouble, you could help that person, you could help whoever needs it. You are in a position to help somebody. And when you continue to work on yourself, when you fail to work on yourself, you're like, nah. I mean, I still got like 20 episodes of Cobra Kai to watch, but I've been putting it off. I got work to do. Understand what I'm saying? Like, if I say, yo, I'm going to take off 20 more hours to go ahead and watch that stuff, to a certain extent, I'm being greedy. Of course, you do have to take some time off. It's not about a number of people, oh, you got to keep working until your eyes bleed. You got to take time for yourself as well. You got to be like, because that's where the peace comes in. And also, it comes in when you have to spend time with your kids, when you have to spend time with your loved ones that need your time. All right? That's also part of you not being greedy. When you think about yourself, you're being greedy. You're only thinking about yourself. And that's what gets people in trouble. You know, people they're cheating on their spouses or whatever. They're thinking about themselves, about their own satisfaction. Understand? When they're doing things, they're cheating other people. You know, don't do a business to cheat other people. Don't ever do that. Do businesses, launch a business in order to help people. So your product and service makes this planet a better place. And the more innovative you are in doing that, you could apply for something such as the $2 million that are available through the American Seed Fund. New Jersey, New Jerusalem, that's what I'm talking about. I actually buy my pan de bono out in Union, New Jersey. I don't know where you're at. And I lived in Jersey, actually, when I was in the military, when I was in the Navy, in Colts Neck, South Jersey. If you're in Upper Jersey, hit this spot and you're into Colombian food, hit Casa del Pan out in Union, New Jersey. The place is off the hook, off the meat rack. It's like, oh my goodness, those breads are crazy. That's right, millionaires rest, meditate, exercise. Absolutely, Lisa. Thank you. This is good. Hello, Rod. Hello. Hello, Sherry Collins. Thanks for keeping us abreast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying abreast. Thank you, Alicia. Absolutely. Please. Thanks for everything. I'm waiting on March 5th. Wish me luck. Absolutely. Much respect. Thank you. Business idea. Yes. South Suicide, Jamaica. That's what I'm talking about, James. 138th Street and 90th Ave. A block away from Jamaica Avenue and Queens Bully. In front of the Mickey D's. My man got shot in front of Mickey D's by a gang. Well, I'm not even going to say who was it. Forget about it. It's a long time ago. Anyway, he got blazed there. This was ages ago. Thank you. That's the type of, listen, it's tough, man. To play. In some particular instances, it's a miracle. I know that God is my father because it is through his work that I am here alive today. One time, somebody almost shot me. They pulled out a gun on me just because I say hi to his girlfriend. That's how bad it was in front of PS 82. Dudes have had blades to my back. It's crazy. The world does not love us. The world does love you, Monica. We just have to fight for it. We got to fight for it. I love you, Monica. My offer-up business was the only way I could keep making money. Don Voight. So true. Thank you. No reason, especially if you're poor and from East Harlem like me. Let me address what Monica's saying. The world does not love us because I think that. I've thought that sometimes. And sometimes I still do think that. I'm like, wow. They're just looking for ways to just pick at you. But that's God's test. Understand? Through all that, you have to forgive people, regardless of what, because here's what happens. If you hold resentment in your heart, if, for instance, just until recently, I was able to forgive my father for not being there for me. And prior to that, it was like I would get to a certain level of success and I'd be like, something would stop me. Something would be like, because when you're trying to make yourself a better person, it's a struggle just learning new things. It's like Chinese, or excuse me, let me say Chinese. It's like Klingon, okay? When you're initially learning how to do something. And no one on this planet knows how to speak Klingon, or maybe you do, I don't know. But you don't know, learning Star Trek language, right? Something that's completely new, foreign. When you're learning how to do anything, let's say you want to invest in crypto. I'm learning how to invest in cryptocurrency right now. And I can share some information on that once I start finding success. Right now, a lot of it, I have to learn the basic terminology, and I don't know about it yet. It's like me learning how to walk again, okay? So when you're doing that, sometimes your brain, you start, initially, you don't know about this stuff, you start yawning, but you get tired or whatever because you know nothing about it. You got to force feed the material into you. The same way that you're building a business. Now, if you hold resentment in your heart for anything, for anybody, let's say something happened to you, someone took advantage of you, the world took advantage of you. You know, I was born without a father, and I've got my cousins who they were born through with a complete family, and they became engineers at a young age. I've got others, you know, one of my cousins is already a lawyer. He had his mother and his father there for them, and they give him the best education possible. My mother did the best that she can. However, I got to a point where I was uncontrollable. She's only 5 feet. Once I grew beyond 5 feet, like I left the house at 16, got all kinds of issues, right? Why? Because of resentment. Okay, so when you hold that resentment, when you encounter the things that you have to learn in life, you're not gonna be able to take it. You're like, oh man, I can't learn it. I'm not good. And all the excuses start popping up. I'm not as smart as I need to be in order to do that. Other people, they're able to do that because they're smart. I'm not intelligent. Listen, God gave us, each and every one of us, a brain. There's people with more limitations, more disabilities that accomplish a lot. They build successful businesses. Each and every one of us has a brain, probably one of the most divine creations ever known to man in this universe. A brain. This brain, it powers the human spirit that is capable of absolutely anything. Look what humans have been able to accomplish. Those people that have accomplished these things, they're nothing. They are just like you. They are just like you. Now, if you hold resentment in your heart for anybody, when you encounter the things that you have to learn, let's say you want to learn rocket science or math or whatever, you're like, I'm not good for this because you simply don't understand it, because you're not being patient, because the resentment, it's like stress on top of another stress. You got the stress of learning something, and you got the stress of resenting somebody. My father wasn't there, or I grew up without a family, or this, or they beat me when I was little, or whatever the hell happened to me, or they abused me. And when you encounter this stuff, you can't take it. You're like, oh man, I'm stressed. I can't go through this. That's when people resort to drugs. People resort to cheating on their spouses, going out and partying when they should be building themselves, hanging out in a corner when they should be improving themselves. I did it for years because of the resentment that I held inside me, until just recently when I found, listen, I forgive everybody. Because here's the thing. When you resent people, you're not hurting the people that you're resenting or the world that is taking advantage of you. You're hurting yourself. Every time that you have a thought in your brain, it sends hormones to your body. If, for instance, someone were to enter your home right now, God forbid, you got to defend yourself, right? You got to fight or flight mode. Your brain reacts to that. They're breaking into the house. Let me grab the gap or whatever. Or you guys start to defend yourself. Or I have to get out of here. I got to start running. You know, whatever is happening. You do that because the brain reacts. It starts sending adrenaline to your body. It starts powering you up. Now, you're taking that resentment and your brain is basically processing that stuff, and it's sending stress to your body. It's breaking your body down. So it's less perseverant. It's less apt to be able to learn new things, which stops your self-improvement. Understand what I'm saying? So that's why you have to let it go. Let it go. Just let it go. Learn how to control your breath. And good or bad, and I know this is tough to hear, a number of you, but you have to hear it. Everything that happened to you in life is what has put you here. That's why you're still alive today, regardless of how bad it is. If you're still here, God bless you. You are still here. It's because of everything that's happened to you in this life. My father, he left me. He got himself into some trouble back in the day. Perhaps he would have gotten me in trouble. He was scarred. He lost his mother, my grandmother, when he was very young. Perhaps he would have passed that on to me, and that sickness was even worse than the mental dysfunction from which I suffered. I'm still not all there. I still speak to therapists, all right, to work through anxiety, to work through my sleep issues. Understand? But I have to get all of that resolved. I have to look at myself every day and tell me, Neal, what the hell's wrong with you, man? Correct that. And if I'm not smart enough to do it, I go ahead and seek therapy, seek assistance, meditate, pray to God, read the Bible, find any type of information, read through scientific studies in order to get me through that level of stress that will stop me, because it is weakness. Some people think, oh, I'm anger, I'm pissed off, I'm gonna knock somebody out. It's all weakness, because you're giving into that anger, to that weak emotion, acting on it, and it gets you into all kinds of trouble, right? And it weakens you, because that stress that you hold in your body, when it comes down for you to be tough, because it's tough to sit down and study something hard, to learn whatever it is that you want to learn, to complete, to accomplish anything that you want in your life so you can save and feed your families to ultimately save this country, right? Because that's what it's all about. I'm patriotic. I mean, as much as people say, oh, that this country is this, regardless of what, this is the best country on the planet. Understand? Life is not perfect. But you know what? There's a number of, I've been to other countries, and trust me, it's not nice. I've seen kids pick up fruit off the floor, dust the dirt off, and eat it. I saw a person jump onto a fire-breathing grill, okay? Basically, they were cooking fish, right? And a dude was so hungry, he jumped on top of the grill where they were cooking the fish. This thing is hot as hell, to grab the fish and just start munching on it. The people who operate in the grill, they started beating the dude with a stick until other people went, yo, that's it. Just leave him alone. Let him eat the fish. He's hungry. You don't see that. I mean, I'm not saying that nobody's hungry in this country, but regardless of what, I mean, I've been to places, I've been broke as a joke. When I went to NYU and I got in there with no advantage whatsoever, I only did it through mere perseverance by graduating at the top of my class through BMCC. There was food all over the place over there, man. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's soup kitchens, there's all these things that you simply do not get in other countries. SNAP benefits, all these benefits. You don't get it. Regardless of what, this is the best country on the planet. And I'm going to tell you a little secret as to why. A number of people don't do it, but if you don't know your history, my professor that I told you about, Dr. Lapid, is probably the best professor. He said, listen, you have to know your history. Know your history. You want to be successful. Otherwise, you're going to repeat it. Now, the reason this country is so successful is because when they migrated to this particular country, when everyone from England, they came as families. Everybody came as families and they worked the land. So by working the land, they developed all kinds of products to sell. Everyone was an entrepreneur. They had wheat. They had tobacco. I know in the first video that where I cited this, they also said they had slaves that were selling that. Yeah, unfortunately, however, just take a look. And the families, they came here with families and they built. And the United States started becoming a developing country after actually South America and Latin America. However, when the Spaniards invaded Latin America, it was all men. It was all soldiers. Some people, I think, they were convicts and stuff like that. And they went out there. They basically, their sole objective was to just steal gold and silver and then take it back to the motherland. And however, England, that was in control of the United States, they had all these products. So when they would sell it back to Spain, they were taking all that gold and silver that they stole from Latin America. And they never worked the land in Latin America. So that's why the United States became the strongest country on the planet. Because families came here. So when you think about your family, how can I save my family? How can my family be at the highest advantage in this country? You start your small business, okay? Because through there is when you generate the revenue, the resources, when you can provide for your families. So when you think about that, the secret to the success of this country, and you basically play the game as it has been set before you, there's nothing that will stop you. Yes, it's U.S. best country, and I know because I came from a third world country over a decade ago. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, third world countries, tough. My family's from Barranquilla, Colombia, and it's tough. Just to get a cell phone out there, you got to produce a birth certificate, crazy credit check. Bless you, I was meant to hear this, letting go. Thank you, Mojo Mana. Absolutely. Seek help and God will send you to the help we need. especially if you know you have these emotional issues. Absolutely. Yes, read the book. It's amazing. Wow, true. That's so true. Hurt people hurt people. Thank you for all you do. There's a reason you are sharing. Many people are going through things. Great video. Thank you so much. You're buffering. Yeah, damn. Well, it's live. Pardon me. Pardon me. I'll keep improving the technology little by little as the channel grows. And thank you so much for supporting our channel. This is our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Our channel. All of you, family. Understand? Let me know if you have any questions. I know a number of people have questions in terms of how to apply for some of these grants. Remember, it's all about the specifics in the grant programs. One of the questions that I get frequently is, do you have to have credit? It all depends on the program. For the GoFundMe Save Small Business Initiative, you don't have to, there's no credit check involved. It's simply your story. You raise at least $500 from 5 different people, and that's it. You qualify for the grant. That's the only qualification. They give you another $500 grant on top of that if you really raise that. And again, you're not begging. If you actually have a business, a product or service that's helping people, that's entertaining people, that's doing something for people, you're not begging, because you are ultimately launching that small business to improve society, to help people. Why? Because I'll just give you a quick, right here, help my eBay and animation business. The boys have been selling on eBay. Like I told you, I think I've got the store open over here, so I could show you real quick some of the stuff they flip. They will flip it. My son's a natural born hustler. The big one, especially the 14-year-old, the slants, it's right here. Where's the store at? Did I open the store? Yeah, look. Take a look at the stuff they're flipping right here. This is without the money that they generated through their comic book business. And I'm not even sharing it. Hold on. Sorry. Right here. Nintendo DS Transformers. I bought this for them. They sold that thing. It was only 99 cents. Money's money. And for 14... Look, $7.99. Transformers Rise of the Dark Spark cartridge. $4.90 for this cartridge right here. $11.90 for Mario. This is business revenues. Kids are 14, 11 years old. $4.99 for the Super Mario All-Star Collection Koopa Trooper. $20 for this Lego Marvel Superheroes Nintendo Switch. Hobby Gear. This is essentially all their stuff, right? Samsung monitor, $71. I got the video somewhere where they delivered this stuff. And you're telling me you can't operate a small business? You can't do it? Come on. These kids are doing it. At one particular point in time, my son got frustrated because due to the pandemic, he couldn't sell his comics the way he was selling them, where he had his little stand up. And after a while, he started grabbing all his old stuff and he went around the neighborhood with his book bag packed with old books and stuff. He'd come back, I got $5, $10 or whatever. 14-year-old kid, he's a hustler, natural born hustler. And listen, I started my small business. I don't have a story like some of the crazy stories you hear from, let's say, from some of the biggest entrepreneurs that when they were 13, 12 years old, they were generating $1,300 a week or whatever. I tried to start my first small business by selling 3 pushes of the reset button on my Nintendo Entertainment System. 2 kids in the neighborhood. I was the only person in Miami, Florida. That's when I lived in Miami when I was 12. Only person that had a Nintendo Entertainment System. Kids would come to play, right? I used to play Super Mario Brothers until I had calluses on my thumbs, until I beat it. And they were like, yo, I want to play. I was like, all right, cool. Give me 25 cents. And I'm not only going to give you 3 lives, I'm going to let you hit the reset button 3 times. So you essentially got 9 lives without any bonuses, without including any bonuses that you got. And cool, they would do it. They would play. I'm like, damn, 3 times, cool. They were playing. And then after their lives were finished, then they started like, come on, man, let me play again. I was like, come on, man, just give me a quarter and you'll be able to do it. And then they got mad and they started complaining to my mother. My mother, she's Jehovah's Witness. She's like, listen, like, don't stop charging the kids. Let them play the game. I'm like, oh, my goodness. That's it. It was over. My business was done. And I only needed a few bucks because my only objective was to probably have some little money for G.I. Joes, but mostly to get, this is, if you're from Jamaica, Queens, New York, the dude that shot me out, I think his name is James, from Southside Suicide, Queens. Our objective was somebody had like $1 in our pocket so I can get a quart of water for 25 cents and a bag of potato chips for 25 cents. Later on, when prices started getting hyped up, 50 cents for Tropical Fantasy and 25 cents for a bag of potato chips or Cheetos, whatever, maybe some popcorn, and that's it. That's all I really wanted. right? And she stopped my business. Well, in Miami, it was actually different. You had to actually pay more for potato chips. So I just wanted some spare change for some junk food, and she stopped my business right there. Nonetheless, later on, I'm not sure if you saw my YouTube stories, my first business, technically a business, I was an independent contractor in my godfather's supermarket in South Bronx, out on 174th Street and Monroe Avenue, if I'm not mistaken. I used to cut hair in the basement. A lot of Dominicans had they had this cut that was called the Kelly, and used to shave like the sides, and they had like the hair like that or whatever. And I had dope heads coming in asking for haircuts, $7 a head. I was bagging groceries. For a weekend, I'd come back home with like about $60, $70. And I would work the cashier and stock shelves and stuff like that. I was a nut. And then one time, I messed up so much, they had me do a delivery of groceries, and I started spray painting in the building while I made the delivery. They bagged me. Never did anything like that again. I mean, I was a knucklehead, man. What do you want? Anyway, regardless of what, always been the business mindset. Okay? And it's simply selling something. People need something. All right? I had multiple skills, like a Renaissance kid. All right? So that I had. I used to do mixtapes. I never charged for them. But anyway, that's my story. Then I got into sales after I left the military. They was selling Kirby vacuums door to door. That was among the worst sales positions because I had to go door to door. And then I sold one Kirby vacuum. And then the trainer said that he did most of the work and they didn't even give me my commission. Then I sold stock. I was supposed to sell stock up in the boiler room. Had no license or whatever for the Stratosphere casino out in Vegas. I sold some stock. They didn't pay me for that. They jerked me. I threw coffee all over their keyboards and all this other stuff. Then I started selling club promotions. And then I came back to New York and got a job at Chase Manhattan Bank. Then I went back to, that's when I started to put things together, started thinking a lot more clearly. And I was like, listen, I'm not going to be the only dumbass in my family. Didn't go to school. My father's side of the family. And that's when I went to school, and that changed my life completely. The acquisition of information. And even after I left New York University, I mean, one of the top schools on the planet, there was a time when I was jobless. I was like, damn. And I went back to the information that I picked up in New York University. That's how I learned how to market products on the internet. And I got a job as a help desk operator in Bell South out in Florida, right? I was taking 60 calls a day until I had Ethernet pumping through my veins. You know what Ethernet's? Ethernet cable. The cable that you use to plug your computer to your router to get internet. I was helping all kinds of people. People shooting possum and all kinds of animals while they were calling me talking about I can't get on the internet and everything like that. And I was helping them out through it. Bell South got me computer literate. And on that spreadsheet that you could find on bit.ly/bizss, I'm telling you, all this information, I mean, that's probably the most valuable sheet right here, the free education source right here. How to do search engine optimization. That's the process of you configuring a website so it has the best chance to appear for queries or searches of targeted keywords. So for instance, you're selling hair products or natural hair products for regrowth. That's how you configure the website. So when people put natural hair products for regrowth near me in Google, right? Natural hair products. Let's say for black hair. That's the process of you configuring your website so you could appear among these top choices right here, right? And you do that through learning this stuff. Search engine optimization. On Reddit, there's a forum for SEO. You heard of Reddit through the Wall Street Bets forum. Google Ads, Facebook certification, how to learn how to market yourself on Facebook. There's all kinds of information on this, man. And then the grants. I mean, once you start learning how to be independent, how to stand on your own too, on this planet, there's no need to get a job. You don't have to be employed to anybody. You're dependent to nobody. There's no reason for you to worry about anything. And if you're stuck, there's just more information out there. You know, you've got resources. You can ask questions through me. I can either answer your question or direct you to a resource where you could find responses. You could always perform queries, case studies on how to market your business on Facebook, on how to find profitable products for eBay, whatever. Thank you, my brother, Dale, my man Dale. You're all right for being a New York Giants fan. And as far as Philadelphia, I was born and raised. North Philly. And get this, I'm a Cowboy fan. Love you, brother. Oh, I bet you coming from my man, my man Jason Mack. That's what I'm talking about. Cowboy fan. Yo, Philly is in the hitty. I've never been to Dallas, but I got people over there. Actually, Brian Cuban, Mark Cuban's brother. That's my man. That's my man, 10 grand. Major shout out to him. And he's got an ill book, too, in regards to emotional issues and dealing with addiction. It's crazy. It's crazy. But major shout out to Philly. As I said, when I was in the military, I lived in South Philly. Broad Street on the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. I need help with this grant and want to write for it. Will someone help me? Grace, use your story. Go for that GoFundMe. It doesn't have to be perfect. Your story. Just always think about the best movie that you've ever watched. What is it? It's someone that's on top of their game, right? And then they encounter a problem and what they go through. The movie is typically about what they go through to resolve that problem, how they become a better person to resolve that problem. Everybody in life goes through these issues. That's why you love these movies, because they are relevant to your situation. How did you become a better person to resolve the problem that you were encountering? That's the story you have to write. What's the problem that your business is encountered or has encountered over the past year? You've gone through the pandemic, for instance. The closure slammed your businesses due to the limitations imposed in your selling activity. You can't welcome people in your business. You don't have money to set things up. Somehow, some way, you drummed up the money to be able to invest in the internet or to do whatever, and now you're showing some sort of success. How are you working towards that? People resonate with that. That's the story that you could share. Be authentic. That's what my professor, Dr. Lapidus, he told me. Always be authentic. And in that story, you will find what will give you success, what will grant your success. What is the nightmare that you face? Why do actors, why do they have the ability to cry? Because they live through their nightmare. What's the nightmare that they faced, that they ultimately resolved, the obstacle that they ultimately got through to get them to a level of success? They remember that. And that's what makes them cry. I mean, I know, because once I started learning how to cry, like I told you, when I wrote about everything that I felt when my father left me, tears started pouring out, right? And you share your story. People know and understand that you're going through the same thing that you're going through, and that your business is your way of exercising all those demons, of getting all of those negative emotions, everything that's been stopping you, all the disadvantages that you've encountered in this lifetime. Everybody faces them, and they'll be compelled to buy your services, to buy your products. It's all about your story. That's how you sell. That's how you write for these grants. And then follow the instructions, of course. Most of these grant programs, they all show you how other people have written and structured their grant proposals and how they've been a success. My man Emmitt Smith from the Cowboys. That's my favorite Cowboy, probably. I remember this Kirby's day. I sold Kirby to, oh yeah, Kirby. Kirby was crazy. $1,000 vacuums. The way you sold Kirby, by the way, was that you basically passed customers, you rolled a customer's vacuum cleaner over their carpet, right? And then supposed to be clean, and then you roll the Kirby over that same spot, and then there was like a filter, and then that filter had dust mites and all kinds of stuff that the Kirby vacuum picked up that your vacuum cleaner didn't pick up, and you put it right to somebody's face, like, here, this is what your vacuum cleaner didn't pick up. That's what you're breathing in every day. That's what's going through your nose. That's one of the ways that you flip. That's a sales tactic. You got to learn how to sell. If you learn how to sell, the world is yours. There's nothing that will stop you. I had everything running but wasn't registered yet. Doesn't matter, Joel, if everything wasn't registered. You don't have to have anything as long, for the GoFundMe, it doesn't require any type of, for the two grants that I'm talking about today, the grants of up to $2 million through the American Seed Fund, it doesn't require you having an LLC as yet just to file the pitch. When you go ahead and submit your pitch, you could be just an individual. But once they invite you to go ahead and submit your proposal, then you have to have been incorporated. Something like the GoFundMe, it's real informal. Even that FedEx, well, yeah, FedEx, you may have to show that you were in operation for 6 months. But the GoFundMe, I mean, that's like the easy, it's a layup right now. It's a layup right now. You can get a grant of at least $1,000. You know, if you got, I'll just give you a quick example. Let's say DoorDash or whatever the case may be. If you've developed contacts by working at that business, perhaps other contractors or whatever, go ahead and set up a GoFundMe. All you need is 5 people to donate. And once you got $500, they match you $500. You got a grant of at least $1,000. Some companies, one company, like I showed you, a grant of $50,000. And then, and start registering your stuff. Go back to my spreadsheet. LLC tab. Zen Business, they'll incorporate for you. This is awesome. I mean, they'll incorporate for you in any state. And I think it costs like, aside from the filing fees, if I'm not mistaken, it's like $50 or whatever. You apply for your EIN right here through irs.gov. It's free. You don't have to pay someone to do this. And I think Zen Business does this with their package. I think they do the EIN for you. Take a look at the pricing. $49 billed annually. And then you could take advantage of doing it, let's say in Delaware, where there's a court that only takes dockets, only takes cases from businesses. So they've got judges that have more business experience and all kinds of other, and they don't charge taxes for out-of-state income. You know, so they do everything for you right here. Look, this is right here. This is all in a spreadsheet. Single member. This is an operating agreement. It's a template for an operating agreement. That's one of the things that you want to have for an LLC. I've got all this stuff over here, man. Look, you can draft your I actually use this for my operating agreement. Just change it with your name. I mean, I'm not a financial advisor. Consult your financial advisor, your financial professional, your legal professional, whoever you consult in order to make these decisions. Your IRS classifications, etc. What is an operating agreement? Right? The SBA reads about it. Browse through this spreadsheet. It's not only about the grants. This is a layup. That's why I even got it in blue. Everybody, I'm gonna get one. The kids are gonna get one. My kids are getting one. You can get one. 14-year-old boy and 11-year-old boy are getting one. You can't get one? Yes, you can. Sold sugar straws in middle school, 7 for 20. There you go. Haircuts, newspapers. Yep, that's what I'm talking about, David. For real, fellow barber right here. Joel, what SBA program? I had everything running. How did you get a $4,000 and your business wasn't even registered yet? Who got the $4,000? I got a $4,000 when it all started, and now I have my business running and registered. My question is, can I reapply for a bigger grant to grow my business? If you were all right, Joel, real quick, if you were in operation for 2019 and 2020, apply for the Paycheck Protection Program. There's not financial advice, but me personally, I'll be applying for the Paycheck Protection Program once my prospective lender receives the new rules from the Small Business Administration that will allow me to use my gross revenue that I report on Schedule C of my 1040, line 7, so I can qualify for a bigger Paycheck Protection Program. Again, that's not financial advice. That's just what I'm going to do. Thank you, Monique. MMC. Yeah, this sheet is up. Absolutely. I'll go ahead and this is the link to it. It's actually titled the address where you could reach it. It's bit.ly/bizss21. Okay, Northwest would do $29 a month. Well, this is $49 for the year, Monica. Zen Business, if I'm not mistaken. But if the $25 a month is better, I mean, that's different. See, look, $49 billed annually. They do standard filing service, registered agent, operating agreement. So registered agent means that if you're filing your LLC in a state other than where you live, they'll go ahead and serve as your registered agent. They'll get an address for you in that state. That's the place where you have told the state that you'll be open to receiving court papers or any other official documentation. Thank you. I have Beanie Babies to sell. If you got whatever you have to sell, you can do it. Just make it legal. Nothing illegal. Where may I find your email to show it to you, what I write up when I am done with it? Email is rodsquadhq@gmail.com. I have Beanie Babies. Yeah, go throw those up on eBay, Maurice. So if you got Beanie Babies, just take a quick look. Again, you go ahead and perform a query for whatever you have and look for sold items, completed sold items. So some of the, they're not going for that much, but, you know, something. TY, $5.99 brand new. I mean, it's better than making zero for it. 7320. Beanie Babies. They're going for like about $8.99, $9.99. TY Princess Beanie Baby, a lot of 12. Well, look, this is this TY, the Snowdrop, this is going for $13.99. Look at this. McDonald's 2000 TY Beanie Baby. Millennium, the bear, very rare. $200. So if you got something like this, perhaps you got $200 in the stash you don't even know about. Money's money regardless. I mean, you got to think about it. Listen, if I saw as a matter of fact, I did see $4.99 on the floor one time. One time, this guy that was collecting money, I think it was like for a charity. He got frustrated because people weren't giving him money, and he threw all the money on the floor. I was like, yo, I picked it up. I'll pick it up. He just threw it away. Let me see. All right, so I'll take some questions before I close it out. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me go and take a look. Dang, I should have went with them. Yeah, you could apply for the economic injury disaster loan and Infinity Excalibur. That's a nice name. No, every state should have the Paycheck Protection Program, Joel. Every state's got it. Florida does have that's a national program. Matter of fact, you don't even have to do it through a Florida bank. You just look through a fintech. I did it. I applied through Blue Vine as a blessing in disguise. They actually denied my application because now the Small Business Administration is changing the rules. It's actually good that you haven't done so as yet. Hope we received the last year for S.4227. That's my baby. Will this be posted after the live? Yes, it will be, Reds. How do I get your spreadsheet? Sharon, it's bit.ly/ Matter of fact, I'm going to throw it up in the comments section again. /bizss21. Okay? bit.ly/ bizss21. That's the spreadsheet. That's the jewel. Thank you so much for all the blessings. I love your content. I'm from Arkansas. Sherry Collins, thank you so much. I want to write an autobiography. Go ahead and do it, David. You could do it. I'm going through some things right now. God sent you here for me today. Thank you so much, Get Mo. Start the small business. It will set our families free. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, Monica. Absolutely. Definitely. Change your lineage. Your lineage's future. Because everything that you do to improve you and your family's future, it's going to change your descendants, the future of your grandchildren, of your great-grandchildren, of everything. Absolutely, Monica. I'm with you on that. 110,000%. There's a reason you are sharing. Many people are going through things. Great life. Absolutely, Lisa. Everything. Everything. I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Do you have any news about LISC, Small Business Grant? The LISC grant, I was only, with the LISC grant, they actually sent me the email notifying me that I'd be able to apply, like, I believe it was 2 days before they closed the application. That's the only thing that they told me about it. That's why I did it that quickly, because they sent it to me that day. I'm not sure if you saw the email, but the email read, they sent it to me, like, I believe it was on the 7th, and then they were closing the application on the 9th. There was only like a 3-day application. I named my business because of you. Got stuff to sell. MMS Services. May God bless your business. Thank you so much, MMS. I greatly appreciate it. We'll check your street. I applied before. What if we don't have a Schedule C? For what? For the PPP AR? If you don't have a Schedule C, I'm not sure how you're reporting your income. However you reported your income, you have to find a way how you reported your income. And ask the lender. At the end of the day, the lender has all the say in regards to what documentation they'll take. But any documentation that you have to produce it. What happens is if they don't have the documentation that they request through the automated processes of receiving applications for the Paycheck Protection Program loan, they'll typically perform like a manual review. And to performing a manual review, they'll allow you to produce other documentation. So for instance, an invoice, a receipt of your payments. Yeah, because you were probably counting it as personal income somewhere. Good, Monica. What I'm doing with Blue Vine is I'm asking them. I've called them several times. I'll keep calling them to find out when the Small Business Administration will effectively transmit the new rules for the Paycheck Protection Program that will allow you to apply using your gross income as opposed to your net income when performing the calculation determining how much of a Paycheck Protection Program loan the Small Business Administration will disperse to you. And you get it, yes. You can't, a PPL, if you mean a PPP, Debbie and Mark Songs, yes, you don't need a DBA. You don't need a DBA. You just have to show that you generated income in February 2020 through bank deposits. Those bank deposits could potentially be into a business or a personal account. And then, well, this is just according to Blue Vine. Every other lender will have their own requirements. And you have to show that you received some revenue in 2019. And that could be through invoices or some type of documentation proving that you were receiving some type of revenue in February 2019. The jewels, yes, baby, so true. Thank you, Sharon. Where do you go to find grants for a brand new business? Hit the GoFundMe. I'll go ahead and share it real quick again. Look, Anthony, my man Anthony Carmichael, he got $500 plus the $500 that he raised through the business right here, his trucking industry right here. $1,200 grant. Look what it is. All it constitutes is you writing your story about your business, and you have to include this hashtag right here, small business relief. And at least five people have to donate. I donated I broke my man off with about $100, little some. He got some donations from everybody else, $1,200. My lady Liz, she got a $1,200 grant. Broke off a little something today. And my man Emmanuel, my heart right here, $1,300 right here. You could use this for any expense that you have in opening your business. $1,000 can go a long way. Listen, I started my business with no more than a little more than $100. I paid like $1 and change for the LLC filing fees, and EIN was for free. That's it. That's basically it in terms of the amount of cash. Everything was just the time that I put into developing my business, hiring people, and I hire people. I don't know if you guys ever read, there's a good book to read if you're getting into business. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. In it, he writes that the rich make their money when they invest. So that's one tactic of doing it. And the business in which I got involved, which was internet marketing, it was perfect for it because I basically collect my money when I make the sale, right? So I sell an internet marketing package, let's say $5,000. Conservatively speaking, anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000, $20,000, right? Once I make that sale, I get a deposit, 50%. With that money, that's what I use to hire people. So once I hire the people to do it, the work is practically done, right? I'm making my money when I make my investment. So just think about that. If you can get in a business that will allow you to make money when you make the investment, that's a lot of leverage because you're funding your own operation. In that particular case, you don't even need a grant. You're basically funding your own operation, that's what you're doing. And you can get people to work for you over globalization, baby. You go through to Upwork.com. You go to Fiverr.com. You got people building websites for $50, $100, $20, $200. You can sell that website easily. Conservatively speaking, 500, 600, 700. And you tell people you build websites, you're going to find people that need it. It's like it sells itself. Or that you market the website. Come on. And you learn how to do it. That's it. You don't have to know how to do it initially. Just have some type of information, some type of foundation from which you can draw inspiration to tell people, listen, I can help you market your business. I can help you appear in the top search results on Google and other search engines where your customers are looking for a service or product like yours. Then hire people to do it for you. It's simple, man. It's not anything extraordinarily hard to do. Thank you. I came in late. Well, thank you, D. Trice. I greatly appreciate it. Do we get the $1,000 grants? Absolutely, you get it. You get all this money. Whatever. Like I said, you raise $500 and then you get $500. So you raise the 500, and again, a number of people have said, "Oh, that you're begging." No, you're not begging. You have to develop a business where you're selling a product or service that people need. When you do that, there's no need for you to be going to people. It's not like a network marketing business. Now, no, I'm not knocking anybody that does, what is it, multi-level marketing. I did it. I used to sell Avon. And I was generating up to $400 on a weekly basis. Initially, I started with my friends and family, right? But I don't do that anymore. If I have to sell my business and services at this level to my friends and family for me to survive, I'm going to be in trouble. I couldn't even get $400 to $500 a week selling Avon, selling to my friends and family. I had to sell to other people. I had to go pitch it to people who were working in the supermarkets and door to door. I was doing Pizza Hut deliveries, Domino's deliveries, and I would pass people the Avon book, right? When I see a woman that could use the stuff, look, here's the Avon book. I was even selling it to people like Central Americans. They love Avon for some reason. I'm not knocking them for it. So there would be like specials in Avon. You get one for $2 or whatever. I would sell both of the perfumes to them. You know, and they'd be hopping on it. They loved it. It's cheap perfume. They get like $10 a piece. Understand what I'm saying? So there's money in all this stuff. Now, what I'm saying is that my point is that if you have to sell to your friends and family, because I know other people, that they say, I don't have friends and family who got money that can give me stuff so I can start a business. You don't need that, man. I know a number of people have started their business that way, but you don't need that. You simply need the information. If you could sell, you could power your own business monetarily. That's how I did it. I powered it through my clients' funding, right? I charged more than I was going to spend to get the work done. The profit, if I spent, and I mean, when it came to internet marketing, I got into it early. I mean, I was making 20x my money sometimes, you know, and of course I was quarterbacking the whole program, ensuring that the people that were working for me were doing it correctly. But regardless, you know, I'm hiring people to do things. I'm making, you know, it's incredible. It's so simple, and it's simple math. Understand? So something like this, you know, $1,000 would go a long way in you starting your business, and you can register your LLC through that. That's some marketing money. I mean, for a couple of dollars, you can go ahead and perform a test on Facebook through Facebook Boost posts to see if your landing page is working, to see if your product is something that people will actually enjoy. Like you could give away a free ebook about your product. Somebody mentioned that they were selling Beanie Babies, for instance, right? And you could teach people how to find the Beanie Babies that appreciate the most, okay? And this is the characteristics you have to look. Ensure that they are coming from only one source, like for instance, from a McDonald's Happy Meal or whatever, and those appreciate the most, or whatever the value comes. And you could write an ebook on that, and you can give that for free. Drive advertising from, people to whom you advertise on Facebook, drive them to your landing page, collect their email addresses. Once you got the email addresses, then you go ahead and blast them. You got a list of people to whom you could send, that you could educate on your product and eventually sell them something. I mean, that's the basics of it. I mean, in a nutshell, that's the broad overview of you selling online. I sold Avon. Yeah, I sold the Witsy's right with me. Yeah, we sold Avon together. Everything. Kirby. Do you have to have a website or picture like that to put up on that front page of GoFundMe? You have to have a picture. You have to have an image. Absolutely. And it could be any image. I mean, look at mine. Oh, my kids, rather. That was a picture of them in their comic book stand. That was the comic book stand that they had. That's my 14-year-old son. He's 14 now. He wasn't 14 at the time. That's his stand. He had the box where he carried his comics, and with their own money, they actually bought this little blackboard. They bought this for like $30. I told them that I would have given them the money, but then I took equity from the company. But then they were like, nah. They were like, no. So he paid for it himself. But you don't need a website. I have a 1099. Do I use that on Schedule C? Then apply for PPP. Yes, you could use that documentation. Remember, the final decision is with the lender. So when you go, how do you apply for the grant? You simply, okay, so D-Trice, there's a video that I launched. Where's my videos? This will break down the whole process. Go ahead and take a look at this video. The whole process of my kids applying for this grant. Let me just make sure this is the right one, and I'll go ahead and link that to you in the comment section. Let the ad ride, but load it, and I'll go ahead and click this share button right here. I'm narrating everything right now. You know, Colombia's got the best narrators on the planet when it comes down to sports. Narration is bonkers out there.
Globalization Partners simplifies international business by enabling you to hire teams in new countries without setting up foreign branch offices. And with
the grant in this video of at least, that's the dramatic jump. And I tell you step by step how to apply for that grant of at least $1,000 through the GoFundMe Save Small Business Relief Initiative. What else? I applied LISC. Yeah, LISC, they have to get back. They haven't gotten back to me. I did GoFundMe, nothing yet. You gotta raise, did you raise the $500, Reds? EIDL, you have to do yourself, Reds. You gotta do that through the Small Business Administration. That's directly to the Small Business Administration. You go to their website and you could apply for the Economic Injury Disaster Loan. You have to add the hashtag. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Liz. The Taylors, a BK Love Story. That Brooklyn, Brooknaw, Medina. I already did my PPP loan, got approved the other day when the 2.5 was in order. Will it increase with the 4.5 percentage? Thank you for your info. See, now they approved the loan. If they approve the loan, the Small Business Administration actually told me, as per my most previous video, that they would not go back and adjust, that they would not go back and amend or allow you to amend the PPP to qualify for more money. If you are in that situation, I strongly advise that you complain to the U.S. Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship. You can reach them at sbc.senate.gov. Hold on, let me, damn. And tell them that, because they have to change that. Because that's not fair. That's not fair whatsoever. U.S. Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship. So if for some reason you've already applied for the Paycheck Protection Program and they approved you using net income, which is less than gross income, thus less of a Paycheck Protection Program loan, you have to contact these people. You can contact them at 202-224-5175 or go ahead and hit the contact page. They actually have a contact right here, contact information. Go to About, Contact, and right here. Let them know. Listen, they approved the Paycheck Protection Program, but now the Biden-Harris administration is allowing applicants to use gross income, thus qualifying you for more Paycheck Protection Program. Please, how can you amend your application so you can request more money for which you are rightfully entitled? Thank you. Mahalo for all the information. Thank you so much, ABCDE 1998. I already did my, okay. I did the GoFundMe, nothing yet. Reds, yeah, you gotta, okay. You got to raise the... I started my balloon business in February 2020. What can I apply for? You should be able to, I believe, well, you had to show that you were in operation in February in 2019. If you generated any revenue whatsoever from a side hustle or anything that did not have to do with being a W-2 filed employee in 2019, then you qualify for the Paycheck Protection Program. And either way, apply through a lender that's providing that Paycheck Protection Program. Again, I would advise until you wait that the Small Business Administration transmits the new rules that allows you to use gross revenue that you report on Schedule C of your 1040. Gross revenue, not net income. Okay, because then you will basically qualify for more money. Okay, I did apply for LISC. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so I've been through these questions. Yes, you have to, then GoFundMe will grant you an additional $500. Yes, Sharon. Absolutely. Thank you so much for filling that information. Those are the new Bezos of the future, Rod. Thank you, Jose. From your words to God's eyes. Taylor's Abe. It's not real talk. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. It's not real. Okay. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, Nowitz. Yeah, you got paid in 2 weeks. Thank you. May God bless you and your business. I found in the description before you answered. Thank you so much, D. Trice. Listen, I thank everybody for watching. I love each and every one of you. May God bless each and every one of you, everybody in this country, United States of America, and everybody else on this planet. Talk soon.